Domestic violence happens either once or forever. That day, the wife woke up covered in bruises. She finally came to her senses. She hired the best boxing coach she could find, training every day without rest, just to take revenge on her husband. She used to be an ordinary restaurant waitress. One day, a thug harassed her. A man stepped in and saved her. They fell in love at first sight and soon got married. After marriage, the man seemed like a perfect husband. Whatever she liked, he would find a way to get it for her, even if it meant spending billions. He once bought her a mansion she had always wanted. The woman later gave birth to a lovely daughter. She thought happiness would last forever, until one day, she found out her husband was cheating. Her world collapsed instantly. All the love and warmth were nothing but lies. When she questioned him again and again, he slapped her in anger. That sudden slap left her in shock. The man in front of her felt like a stranger. He stopped pretending and started beating her brutally. All love turned into fear. The next day, she went to the police station pretending to ask for a friend. She asked if a wife could be protected from her abusive husband. The officer said they needed evidence of domestic violence. Only when the injuries met court standards could a case be filed. Even if the husband was arrested, he could easily get out on bail, and there was no real protection for the woman, which meant once he was released, the beating would start again. Realizing the law could not help, she decided to follow her friend's advice and leave him. That night, she secretly took her daughter and ran away. They stayed in a cheap roadside motel, but one phone call pulled her back into the nightmare. Her husband not only knew her room number, he was already outside the door. She had no time to think. She grabbed her luggage and escaped through the window just as he broke in. She ran through the streets with her daughter. She had to leave Los Angeles and went to Seattle to find her ex-boyfriend. She thought they were safe, but soon men came knocking again. A few people claiming to be FBI agents showed up with a search warrant in hand. Her ex-boyfriend had no choice but to let them in. They said nothing, just started tearing the place apart. They were clearly sent by her husband. Realizing something was wrong, her ex-boyfriend shouted at them to leave, but they ignored him completely. The woman and her daughter hid under the closet, holding their breath in fear. Luckily, they weren't found. The men finally left, but before leaving, they slashed the sofa with knives. The woman knew staying would only put her ex in danger, so she packed again and left with her daughter that same night. Eventually, they reached Michigan. They lived in a small rented apartment, eating government relief food. Life was hard, but being free from the abuser was worth it. She cut her hair short, changed her and her daughter's names, decided to settle down here for good. But over time, the little girl started missing her dad. The mother gave in to her daughter's pleading and drove to the outskirts to call her husband. That was when she learned her husband had filed a lawsuit against her for taking their daughter without permission. In 2 months, there would be a hearing. If things went wrong, she could lose custody forever. The next morning, her husband suddenly appeared in front of her. He had friends in the police who helped him track her. They had been listening to every call from her family and friends. The man attacked her again, but this time, she was ready. She sprayed him with the pepper spray hidden in her watch, grabbed her daughter, and escaped. As she tried to drive away, someone knocked on the car window. It was the same thug who harassed her in the restaurant 6 years ago. That moment, she finally understood. It had all been a setup. Her husband and that man had staged it to trap her from the very beginning. She went to a law firm for help, told the lawyer everything she had been through. But the lawyer said she had made everything worse. She had 2 chances to report the abuse properly, but she chose to run away instead. Now her husband had all the legal advantage, and she could lose her daughter, with the law no longer helping her. She refused to live in fear any longer. She made a bold decision to end it her own way. She sent her daughter abroad with a friend, then hired a boxing coach with the best reputation. She trained harder than ever, determined to risk everything. Her progress was shocking. In a month, she mastered multiple combat skills. That night, she climbed over the fence and entered the mansion. She cut the phone line, took her husband's gun, planted fake letters and clues, then set up a signal jammer and waited. When the man came home, he sensed something was wrong. He tried to call the police, but his phone was dead. She appeared and faced him head-on. She provoked him to attack first, leaving signs of domestic violence, then fought back, knocked him out cold. For a moment, she hesitated, but when he attacked again, she fought back one last time and defeated him completely. She destroyed all traces, then called the police and turned herself in. The court ruled it as self-defense. She was released without charges and finally lived peacefully with her daughter again. A marriage can only last when there is respect and love on both sides. If it must end, it should end peacefully. Domestic violence should be stopped from the very start, because once a man starts hitting, he never stops.